If I ever lose you, baby, leave some cocaine at the door, 'cause it would take a whole lot of crack cocaine, yeah. What's up, guys? I'm just having fun, whatever. But I was thinking about this idea that this guy gave me, and I'm still in the same world. I'm just searching around, trying to look for some dogs. I don't know where dogs would be. I imagine they're in the forest somewhere, and I really don't know where my house was, but I'll find it. It's not a big deal. And plus, I need to collect bones even if I get lost entirely. So I'm trying to get some dogs, and I'll look for them now. But I wanted to talk to you guys about frequency. Someone told me in one of my last videos, like, GFX, maybe it's because you need, maybe all these things are happening to you because you are on a bad frequency and you need to change your frequency up. And a lot of people wouldn't understand what that means, but I definitely understand what he's talking about as far as frequency. Now, for me, I've never been, to me, I think women are really, really good at, evaluating frequency. That's what their MO is. That's their life. Like, that's how they view life, is through frequency. And, if you have a good frequency, you tend to pick up girls better. You tend to live a better, like a more positive life. And you have a more positive frequency. People that are positive will be attracted to you. And also the negative will even be attracted to you. But if you have a negative, you turn pretty much everybody off. And you turn off, like, all the people that have a negative. Because two negatives don't equal a positive. And two negatives will just get, it just creates somewhat of, like, imagine there's like waves in an ocean. And you see these waves like traveling across the water, across the surface of the water. And then one wave is on a certain frequency. It's like on a bad frequency. One's on a very strong frequency. While one will, the frequencies that sort of match together will always just join, and then it'll make a stronger wave. That's why, if you imagine the influence of some people like Hitler probably, would amount to a tsunami, and then that tsunami would crash on the beach at the end. And so to me, life is pretty much like a wave. You have to think about it as being in a wave. So you're on a wave and you're traveling. You started out as a very small, just a ripple of some sort, or maybe just from the ocean current. You just started out from the wind. There's all kinds of ways that waves can be formed, but you're on an individual wave, and you are an individual wave, and you are heading towards what everyone thinks is paradise. You see at the end of the line, you see a beach, and there's a huge, like, palm trees everywhere, and you see this is paradise, and you're like, wow, I'm gonna go to paradise one day. And people get caught up in just staring straight ahead. They're all waves. Just imagine people are waves, and they're all just caught up staring straight, looking straight forward, and knowing that they're going to go straight into a paradise sort of scenario. Now, imagine if you were a wave that didn't do that, that just sort of chilled out, that just sort of traveled on its way, and knew that it was going to someday get to where it needs to be. It never really stayed too focused on that ending, on that end of the road. Don't you think that way would have way more of an enjoyable time during his traveling towards the beach? Now, some waves will become very rigid and will be a part of a storm, and they'll attract other people who are part of that storm, and they will all become like, everyone on that wave will be very unpredictable and very crashing all the time with each other, and they'll be an unpleasant experience. And then there'll be some that were just really strong, and they're like I said, like Hitler would be a tsunami, and they would just be crashing and destroying other waves, and you know, ending other waves and carrying other waves into oblivion. And they would definitely like all, you know, just benefit. Some waves would benefit from other waves. Some waves would, you know, lose a lot of their weight and stuff like that. And there's all these waves crashing, but inevitably you start off as a small wave, and then you travel, and then you eventually you have a taste of paradise at the end. You touch the beach, and you get to see that in the end that paradise you are reaching forward to or looking forward to never really existed. It wasn't actually like is all an illusion. It was some place that you couldn't actually go to. And so in the end you're just disappointed with, you know, life in general. And I'm looking for some skeletons, and I don't see any. Just see these guys. But in the end you're really frustrated. Whoa. Died. You don't get any. You have to kill them, right? Oh, there you go. Got it. And I need to eat. I should have ate the cooked ones that I had, but whatever. Anyway, as you travel and you become like part of your whole being becomes a part of this process, and then at the end you taste paradise for a little bit, and then you get in and you return to the ocean. Now, there are some people who will realize that their entire time that they were always a part of the entire huge ocean, and there'll be some people who will just be focused on that paradise. There'll be some people who will be focused on other waves that are traveling around them, and then they'll get caught up in those waves, and then they'll see like everyone has their own path, everyone has their own wavelength, their own frequency to uphold. And then, you know, if you can change frequency, you just have to be in that position. I mean, you just have to, if you have the choice to change, make subtle changes, the only way you can change your frequency is to change it at the very moment that you figure out that you are on a bad frequency. And it won't change because you are willingly changing it. It'll actually change because it's time for you to change. It's time for you to make those changes. And then you will start changing your frequency on your own. You won't have to deal with all of the nonsense that comes with life. Like, you won't have to deal with all of the bad things that, you know, tend to happen to people with bad frequencies. And I've come to an understanding that maybe one day I too will have will come to an understanding that will inevitably change me for the better. And, you know, I heard this one thing from a guy named Osho. He's a philosopher that I listen to a lot. And you guys should check him out. I mean, he's really great. He's a really great philosopher. He teaches meditation. That's what he teaches. He doesn't teach about life. He teaches meditation. And, damn, these guys are doing work. Oh, you ain't blowing up on me. Anyway, so he said if you ever want to change from something and you have somewhat of an addiction, the best thing to do is to go as deeply into it as you can. And that is different. He's mainly talking not about physical stuff, because if you go as hardcore as you can into like drugs and alcohol, then you will probably end up hurting yourself way more than you will if you just, well, you can't go cold turkey, but if you just, you know, deal with it. You have to deal with those things medically. He's talking about ideas like depression and stuff like that, or sadness. Like, imagine if you're really sad, you're really like depressed, and you're really mad or something, and you're just like, man, this, life sucks. And you just think about it. You just sit there and you're like, okay, I accept it. Life sucks. And you're sitting there like, okay, I'm depressed. I'm just going to sit here and stay depressed because I'm depressed. Whatever, I'm depressed. And you'll find out that as you sit there, you'll realize that it's just silly. It's silly to think that you're depressed at that moment. And then you'll start to change. You'll start to change on your own. Like I said on before, like you'll start to realize that you're not actually depressed. You're not actually like all that mad. It's just at that moment you got caught up. You got caught up on that frequency. And, some people can get away from it really fast. They'll catch themselves in the moment and they'll be like, okay, what was this? Like, why was I so mad at that point in time? Like, what got me so riled up that I had to stop myself and start to think like, why am I so mad? Oh man, where did that guy come from? That is some BS how he could reach me that far. But it reminds me of Dead Man's Hand, and oh my god, I don't ever want to think about that game ever again. I'm done with that game. Anyway, so basically what I'm trying to say is that let me kill this guy first. Basically what I'm trying to say is that when your frequency is really just a state of mind. Like, it's really just a state of being, and the only way to get rid of it is to acknowledge yourself in the present moment. And if you're able to acknowledge yourself in the present moment, you'll be able to get over it. It's like the moment you see, the moment you accept yourself, it's kind of like on, the 12 steps. So when the moment you start the healing process of doing, like, quitting some addiction is by admitting that you have that addiction. Well, it's the same thing with a thought or some sort of mental struggle that you're going through. Like, say you're depressed or something, and the moment that you finally accept it, then you will start to overcome it, because it'll start to dissipate on its own. It'll start to become nothing to you, because you can finally tell that it's just a silly idea to be depressed like that, or to be on that frequency. You'll just say like, hey, why am I so mad at this moment in time? And the only way to realize that is just to allow yourself to realize it, to allow yourself to be in the present moment, to finally acknowledge that and just accept it. Okay, I'm sad. Now what? It's the same thing as if like I said in one of the other Minecrafts, if you were to know everything in the universe, your mind would still ask the question, what's next? So to me it's the same thing. Oh, I had plenty of swords. I don't know why I came back. All right, time to go look for some more dogs again. I want to make a map, but I don't know how to make paper, and I don't know how to make a map anyway. Yeah, let's just free ball it. I can probably find some dogs without doing that. So I've been sitting here thinking about my own frequency, and my own frequency at this point has been, like, I'm not at my potential, or I'm not doing what I want to do, or and I've sat here and contemplated like, yeah, I'm not happy with my situation. Okay, let's not be happy about the situation. And then my mind starts to think, okay, what are you going to do now? What's next? Because your mind's always looking for stuff like that. Like, your mind is always contemplating about the situation. And I think actually it might be in these types of woods. And I sat there thinking about it for a while, like, why am I so mad about things? Why am I so sad about life at this current moment? And then it occurred to me that maybe I need to just totally dig myself like totally into design. Like, if I want to be a designer, then I need to quit everything that I'm doing that change my frequency to be a designer frequency. If I want to make videos on YouTube, change my frequency to be something like White Boy 7 Streets or something, you know, like just be a nice person, make video, just try, go all out on your videos, just expose yourself to the world and just be carefree. Don't listen to the haters. Don't let things take you down. Don't look at your comments all that much. No, but I appreciate, but that's not me. Like, I don't care about YouTube all that much. Like, I make these videos for you guys that like listening to me, and I don't make these videos for the entirety of YouTube, because not all of them are ready to hear, like, you know, just whatever I'm talking about. A lot of people would just, some people would get mad. I don't really care about their, you know, about their reactions. I don't really care if like Minecraft ever gets successful, because that's not the goal of this series. The goal of the series is really for me to at some point in time go back in time and listen to how foolish I was. And that's my goal, is how I know in the future that in this video I'm going to listen to it sometime when I'm an old man, and I'm going to laugh at how foolish I am, how foolish I'm talking right now, and how ridiculous like some of my claims are. And then I'm going to laugh, and then I'm going to show some of my friends, and then they're going to laugh, and we're going to have something to talk about, something to enjoy together, something that'll remind us of the past. And to me, that's, you know, that's a pretty honest observation on my end, I guess, is that at some point in time I'm gonna come back to this video and laugh about it, and it'll be all that. And you know, maybe even you guys might come back to it someday. I doubt it, but maybe you will. Maybe you'll come back and be like, you know what, GFX was right at this moment, or maybe this is what I'm going through. Maybe not. Maybe you won't care. Maybe but either way, it's for me, really. I'm talking to myself in the future. That's what I'm doing, is I'm trying to release all of the ideas that I've had, that I have, especially about frequency. Now, maybe in the future I will change and become more foolish, but that's okay, because the people who know the truth are the people who actually know the truth are the people who have been proven wrong the most. The people who don't know the truth are the people who think they are right. So I've learned that the rough way. I've learned that through my frequency, which was always like, I know the best. And then that changed really fast, because I got a god smacking from, you know, from every person in my life at that moment in time. Pretty much came to me and changed me. And to me, that's been one of my biggest lessons, was the god smacking, and that I always get all the time. You know, it's great that I have people that care about me so much that they'll, you know, let me know when things are wrong, or when things aren't going right, or when I'm doing something that I shouldn't. And it's a great thing to have friends like that. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate the support base that I have around me. It's really great people, strong people that I have around me. I can't find any dogs. I don't really want to travel all that far to find them, but it looks like I probably will have to, and I should probably get out of this water because it's too slow. Create a boat. But to be honest with you guys, if I were to break down all the ideas and concepts that I share with you guys, they all break down to just concepts. Concepts only can point towards the truth, but they don't actually bring you there. Like, you can't be they won't hold your hand to to what is actually true about what's being said, because to everybody, the words that I'm saying on all of the messages that I talk about, they all translate differently to different people with different experiences. So my truths and some of the stuff that I know may not be the same for you, and you might translate them differently, and that is entirely fine, because you shouldn't be feeling the same way as I do, unless we have similar experiences, and talking to somebody else with similar experiences is so much better than, I mean, it's so much easier to communicate because you both know inherently that each other is somewhat right. You just don't assume, you're not assuming anything. And I hope I don't lose where I was located at. I need to stick around the area. I need to create a map is what I need to do before I get lost. But I know I'm on the shore somewhere, so I can just build a boat and eventually float to find where it is. But, going back to the wave theory and the whole like frequency idea, it's the same thing as just straight up energy. The energy that you put out is the energy that you'll get in return. If you drive around like you're and you have this mentality that you might get in an accident, you're going to get in an accident with somebody else who is thinking about the same thing, because you are both feeding that energy out, and that energy is going to attract each other, and then it's going to catch on, and then you will wreck with somebody else who has that same I might crash today sort of mentality. Or if you sit around thinking like I'm going to fail, you're going to fail because you are feeding yourself that energy. And that's something that, like if you make a commentary or a video or something and you say I'm going to post this video, I don't think it's going to get any views, but whatever. That is the type of mentality that you're going to project out as you're making your video. That's why when I say I don't really care about these videos, in return they don't give me the same reward. But when I make videos that I want a huge return on, I get a huge return back. Like when I make my remixes and songs, those videos, I work on those videos extra hard just because I know that if somebody were to see that video, that they might enjoy it, and then they'll catch on. They'll be like, hey, you know what, maybe this guy's kind of cool. I'll check out the rest of his videos, maybe, and then maybe I'll be on their frequency. Maybe me and them will be on the same frequency and they'll enjoy my stuff. Or maybe they just want to hear those remixes, and whenever I post those, they'll enjoy them, and that seems to be the general consensus. So even on YouTube, that whole rule exists. I should probably get some of these cacti so I can use them for protection on my humble abode. Do I have an axe? I don't think so. I'll have to come back and get an axe and cut down some of that. I don't know where the dogs are. I'm gonna have to figure out how to make a map, and next time I will be fully ready to do that. For now, I guess I just roamed around, fought some bad guys, found some new lava places, and found a spot where I can chop down some cacti. But I think that's enough for today. I don't want to make these hour long anymore because they take too long to upload. No one gets them in their sub boxes, and YouTube just doesn't like hour-long videos. But I appreciate you guys checking out the Minecraft series as always, and I appreciate you guys listening to me. I appreciate you guys staying subscribed, and you guys are the best. You guys are the best subscribers that I could ask for. And in the end, I hope that maybe some of you understood what I was talking about. I know a lot of you might not, but it's whatever. Just let me know in the comment section what you guys think about frequency and how you guys have experience with it, or if you don't. Now, I don't remember. I think my house is back this way. I'm going to find my house and then I'll end it. That's kind of what I've been thinking a lot about lately, is just what sort of frequency am I putting out there? Oh, and there's a creeper right there. What sort of frequency am I putting out there? Who am I trying to attract? What kind of people do I want around me? And it seems like I already have that. It's already going for me. I'm already I'm well on my way to becoming a stronger person. And that is all I have to do is realize it. If I realize it, then it'll start to happen. Just like if you, like I said, like the what I was talking about is being sad and stuff. about being sad and just saying like, okay, I accept that I'm sad. I totally accept that I'm sad. What am I going to do about it? I mean, if you sit there and just sit there in that sadness and you don't realize that you're sad, you haven't actually accepted it. You haven't accepted that you're sad. You're just accepting that you might be sad, or it's just a concept and you're not actually sad. That nothing actually happened. You're still paralyzed. Oh, here you are. No! I better get out of here before I die. So for me, I realize that I'm unhappy. Sometimes I feel unhappy about my life, and I just need to accept that I might be unhappy. And you know, like, I just have to allow myself to finally acknowledge it, and then after that things will start happening for me again. Just like the interview. I got the interview when I was in somewhat of a happy state, and that's how I got my interview. And I sent him a follow-up email today, but we'll see you guys. I hope you guys have an epic day, and peace out.